In dem Sinne, herzlich willkommen zu unserer neuen Folge. Wir spielen Genshin Impact. Wir machen mit der Main Quest weiter. Sumeru, Nahida. Beim letzten Mal... Ja, ist ja gut, Barbara. Es geht um Nahida. Wir haben sie erst letztes Mal, letztes Mal befreit. Und jetzt soll die große Siegesfeier stattfinden. Aber irgendwas sagt mir, da wird etwas dazwischen kommen. Etwas wird schief gehen. Und scheinbar müssen wir dann eine gewisse Nahida wieder retten. Nur so ein Gefühl, nach dem, was ich alles bei TikTok-Clips gesehen habe. Mal schauen, ob es wahr wird. In dem Sinne nochmal ein herzliches Willkommen an alle. Servus Darwin, Hallöchen Mafuyu, Hallöchen Sakumoshi und Hallöchen Michael. Hallöchen Max Supreme. Ich sollte noch auf dem Discord rausposaunen, dass ich jetzt live bin. Und dann können wir direkt loslegen. Und seid ihr bereit auf den neuen Teil der Story? Ja, ich will senden. Es geht los. Sos Alina. Hallöchen Milena. Fühlt euch alle grüßt. Wir sind da, wir sind noch in Inazuma. Aber wir werden gleich rüberporten zu der Mission. Zum großen Bankett. Wer von euch hat das alles schon gemacht? Was meint ihr? Und ich habe immer noch keine Ahnung, wie ich den Wanderer nennen soll. Vermutlich Skaara. Skaara? Moment mal. Wer heißt Skaara? Ist es aus Stargate? Skaara?
What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to
Ja,
appreciate how beautiful it is.
Skaara. Aus Stargate, der Typ. Bin schon durch. Und, war es gut? Kann man spielen, aber nicht spoilern. Bin mal gespannt, was passieren wird. Wir machen jetzt eine kleine Weltreise, sprichwörtlich. Oh, eine Daily. Ja, und wir nennen ihn Skaara. Eine Hommage an Stargate. Das finde ich gut. Ich nenne ihn Skaara. Oh, ich glaube, wir müssen in die... Moment mal. Wir müssen da rein. Moment mal. Das Ding ist da riesig innen drin. Wo ist der Rest der... Das kann doch nicht sein. Also bitte. Komm. Ach nee, das schaffe ich nicht. Nein. Servus Laura. Servus Conan. Servus Alina. Servus Mika. Nee, Mika ist gar nicht da. Das ist doch noch vom Haupt. Das kommt davon, wenn man die Streaming-Software nicht ausmacht. Servus Zack. Hallöchen. Danke für das February und die Rose. Und, geht's gut? Komm, hoch mit dir.
The wind rises.
Ups. Also von innen wirkt es viel größer als von außen, muss ich sagen. Gut. Alle bereit? Noch der Stimme geht's noch ganz gut. Zack, danke für das TikTok und das Lucky Pick. Also, alle bereit? Können wir losgehen? Können wir loslegen? Können wir endlich die finale Quest machen? So ist Alina. Wo ist mein TikTok-Chat? Da ist mein TikTok-Chat. Auch interessant. Ah, da müssen wir hin. Moment mal. Wenn das hier und hier es zu der großen Bücherei geht, wo zum Kuckuck ist dann die große Nicht-Nom? Geht's noch? Mein Twitch-Name. Ich heiße überall gleich. Kasatka VR wieder oben zu sehen. Diese Halle ist so groß wie ganz Sumeru. Woher kommt es mir nur so vor? Skandalös. Na gut, wir gehen wieder raus. Das Muffin. Also, dann legen wir mal los.
Too slow. Quit following me.
Und sagen wir Hallo. Ist eigentlich der Sound soweit ganz in Ordnung?
We haven't seen Alhaitham anywhere. Let's ask that person over there.
Mir geht's ganz gut. Und selbst? Servus, Ace. Also, meine Stimme zum... Servus, Vanessa. Ist supi. Perfekt. Dann. Und alles gut gegangen? Geht's dir gut?
Hey there. Have you seen Alhaitham around?
Ich bin mitten dabei. Das ist quasi das Finale von der Nahida-Quest.
Yes, it seems Scribe Alhaitham has gone to the House of Dana. You should be able to find him there.
Hallöchen, Matey.
But you're already the second group of people I've seen looking for him today. He must be quite the busy man.
Oh? Who else was looking for him?
Mr. Cave was just here asking about him. You wouldn't believe how terrible their relationship is. And now you two are here. Don't tell me everyone's here looking for gossip about the sages.
Natürlich nicht.
No way. We're strictly here on business.
Servus, Manu.
Ah, I see. Sorry, I thought maybe everyone's as interested in rumors about the sages as I am.
Eine Tratsch-Tante. Okay.
Search for it.
Der mit seinen Afterburner. Perfekt, das hört sich doch gut an. Wobei 2 bis 3 Monate schon extrem ist. Mir geht's ganz gut. Und selbst? Oh, wer ist das hier? Ist das was? Wer ist das? Wer ist das? Habe ich den schon mal gesehen? Habe ich den schon mal gesehen? Oh nein, es geht los.
Alhaitham should be around here somewhere, right?
Wer ist das?
Oh, he's over there. But it looks like he might not have time for us.
Okay, Braum Taxi, danke, dass du dabei warst. Dazugestoßen bist. Du wirst ihn lieben. Wen werde ich lieben? Er unterhält sich gerade mit jemandem. Mit wem?
Just put down that worthless book and tell me what happened in the Academia.
This is not just some worthless book. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to find a physical book like this in Sumeru?
It doesn't matter. It's probably just another thing that you used your authority to get your hands on anyway. Just put it aside. Listen, I came back today only to hear that the sages have disappeared.
Oh, you sound surprised. I thought you would already know the inside story.
Would I be here asking you if I knew? You're the scribe, not me. So just tell me what you know already.
Well, I almost became a sage.
Huh?
Oh.
Oh, don't sound too surprised now. You're the renowned Kave, light of the Ksharawar. Besides, as a master builder and craftsman, chances are you'll be appointed as a sage too.
Why do I feel like you don't really mean it?
What makes you say that? Why would you question my heartfelt sincerity?
Maybe it's because you've never said anything good about me before.
Die zwei sind klasse.
Yeah, well, I share a similar sentiment, and anyone who knows you as well as I do would surely do the same.
Ugh, you...
Die sind ja putzig. Die zwei sind ja putzig.
See? This is why I hate discussing anything with you. Your ridiculous and arrogant attitude always gets in the way.
It seems that you really can't stand my personality.
Ha! What was your first clue?
Der hat interessante Augen.
Well, then you might as well move out of my house.
Okay, wer schippt die beiden?
Are you threatening me? Stooping to a new low, I see. Ugh, and don't change the subject. You, a sage? What a joke. The Academia might as well just close tomorrow.
Are they having a fight?
Warten wir ab, wir haben es nicht eilig. Schauen wir zu und Hast du Popcorn dabei, Palman? Na, du hättest es schon längst aufgegessen.
Forget what's going on with the Academia. Haven't you been busy with your construction project? Tell me, when are you going to build yourself a mansion?
Don't get me started. I get angry just thinking about it.
So, what great building did our master architect work on this time?
Like I need to tell you. Keep your nose out of my business.
No, I think we deserve to know. Where were you when Sumeru needed you most?
Ooh.
I was in the desert for a large project, but considering Haravatat's utter ignorance of architectural and aesthetic matters, you probably wouldn't understand. Ah, which is truly unfortunate. I can only pity the man who doesn't understand the first thing about beauty and romance. Unlike a true...
Was ist das für ein Smugface?
Hold on, wait a second. What do you mean by when Sumeru needed me most?
Well, while you were out fiddling around in the desert, many people came together to save Sumeru from a crisis.
Ha! And you think I'd believe that?
Uh-oh.
Look, all you really need to know is that Acer and all his accomplices have all been overthrown.
Huh? What nonsense are you talking about?
Immer doch, her damit.
It's no skin off my nose if you don't believe me. It's not like my Darshan was the one trying to apply for funding from the Grand Sage. Yours, though, on the other hand...
You know what? I'll ask around. I'm sure someone knows what's going on here. You're dead if I find out you're lying to me.
Mann, sind die süß. Wenn er dich lässt. Was war denn das für ein Herzensblatt? Hey, Elfam.
Hey, Alhaitham.
Oh, it's you two. What's the matter?
Milena, danke für die Rose.
We're running some errands for Nilu. Have you received her letter?
Letter?
Nilu said she sent out a letter inviting everyone to a celebration feast in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. We'll also be celebrating Sino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra.
If she addressed the letter to Alhaitham of the Academia, then the letter should have gone to my office. I've been busy these days, so I haven't had time to check for any new mail at my office. I only now have some free time to attend to personal matters.
Have you always been so busy with your work?
Merci.
Of course not. I'm only busy these days because several sages have been dismissed recently and the whole Academia was practically turned upside down.
Kainari told us they all went to train in the Avidia Forest. Apparently they will spend the rest of their lives there.
That is already the best possible ending for the likes of them.
Morgen ist Arbeiten. Nein.
4 of the 6 great sages were possessed by their desire for power and attempted to create a new god. In order to pull it off, they even imprisoned the other 2 rational sages. To imagine such things could take place in the Academia.
Die 6.
I don't know where to begin.
Die 6 Weißen. Sollte ein klasse Name für eine tolle Leute sein.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. Feels kind of strange to hear them called that after all this time. But then again, the 6 great schools sounded pretty impressive too.
Yes, at least that's how they're supposed to sound. It's said that when the Academia was first founded, the Dendro Archon herself established the 6 great schools, each representing one of the 6 different types of wisdom. Numerous Darshans have sprung up and faded. Only the 6 Darshans attaching themselves to the 6 great schools have stood the test of time and obtained permanent seats in the Academia.
Okay.
Now, the 6 Darshans are nearly synonymous with the 6 great schools, and the leaders selected for the schools are the 6 great sages. Among the 6 great sages, there is one central leader, the Grand Sage. Unfortunately, only the sages from Vahumana and Amorta remain now. They were imprisoned for opposing Acer and were only rescued after Acer's downfall.
Warte mal, die haben ihre Kollegen eingesperrt? Krass.
So who's managing things in the other 4 schools now? Do they need to find someone new?
Yes. Normally, new sages are selected based on a strict set of criteria.
Also Geistspiele, keine Ahnung, morgen vielleicht. Okay, bye bye, Sophia.
Oh, didn't you just say something about becoming a sage? If they pick you, then we'd have a huge connection in Sumeru.
Jawohl.
Yes, about that. You didn't let me finish my sentence. The person in charge of personnel affairs nominated me to be the Grand Sage in place of Acer and help Lesser Lord Kusanali manage the Academia. But I refused.
What?
Huh? But why? Ugh, can't you be a little more ambitious?
Gute Besserung, Milena.
I'm not even interested in being one of the 6 great sages. Like I said...
Oh, all right. So are you busy these days trying to find others to take the job?
That's not my job either. I'm only responsible for handling important affairs within the Academia before the new sages take office.
Gute Besserung, Alina. Also bist du der vorläufige Leiter.
And the first thing I'll do is reject Kasharawar's application for funding.
Fies.
By the way, who was that other person just now? Is he your friend?
Do we look like friends?
Paimon doesn't know. That's why Paimon's asking.
Was, Hunter?
His name is Kaveh, my roommate. You could say he's the representative for Ksharawar scholars.
Er scheint deine Worte anzuzweifeln.
Which is exactly why he always has so many problems.
So everything that's happened recently must be a huge change for the people of Sumeru.
Viel Glück mit den Bergungsarbeiten.
Such is the work of the Academia Scribe.
Well, anyway, no matter how busy you are, since you are our planner, remember to attend the celebration feast in 2 days.
All right, I'll see you there.
Na dann. Jetzt sind wir Postboten. Skandalös. Ah, nein. Die paar Zentimeter. Gut, man könnte auch die Treppe nehmen, aber was will ich mit einer Treppe, wenn ich fliegen kann? I fly. Fly me to the moon. Kuchen. Nach Ormos. Einmal nach Ormos, bitte. Ist doch süß, du hast einen Verehrer. Alina, sei lieb. Und sobald ihr fragt, welche, beide.
This is Port Ormos. Now where could...
Oh, da haben wir ja jemanden.
Is that Paimon I hear?
Huh?
Oh, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Dinyarzad! It's been so long since we've seen you.
Uns geht es sehr gut. Und dir?
I'm doing well. I can go as far as saying I have never been happier in my entire life. I don't know if you've heard, but Elazar has completely disappeared, and all the patients have recovered.
You kidding? Knowing them and the connections they've got, I'm sure they've heard about it.
Du warst also doch hier.
That's right. My lady is feeling better now, so I'm accompanying her for a walk.
Why do you still call me that, Dia? You've already informed my father of your resignation.
I guess I'm just used to calling you my lady. Old habits die hard.
Oh.
Resignation? You mean you're quitting?
Yeah, I might start losing my edge if I keep being a bodyguard for the Homayanis.
You know that my parents and I are fond of you, and that we appreciate you very much. It wouldn't be a problem if you wish to continue to be our bodyguard.
I'm not a woman that's easily persuaded. You should know that by now, my lady.
Oh, vielleicht musst du sie ja nur ein bisschen verführen.
When I took this job, I had already decided that I'd quit as soon as you'd recovered. It's time for me to get back out there and chase that horizon.
So what are you gonna do now if you're not gonna be a bodyguard anymore?
I want to take a risky job and put my body to the test again.
Huh? But we literally just finished one of the most dangerous jobs ever. Are you getting bored already?
I know. If I hadn't joined in that plan with you, I wouldn't have come up with this idea. I guess I still get fired up by that feeling of going all out in a fight. It made me realize that I'm still a mercenary through and through.
Hi, Sophie.
Life is short, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of that operation. But the whole thing also made me realize that there are still many problems in Sumeru. And as a desert dweller, I'm still not completely ready to settle down on this side of the wall.
Well, I remember a friend had someone bring you a message.
You mean I'll hate them? I didn't expect him to still remember that. I thought he was joking.
We just came from talking with Al-Haytham at the Akademie.
Wieso isst du deine Haare?
Did he tell you that he suggested that I come work at the Akademie?
What?
Davon habe ich noch nichts gehört.
I heard that Acer and his cronies fell from power, and Al-Haytham told me that now was a good time to find a job in the Akademie, but only if I wanted to.
Whoa. Paimon can't see you being anything other than a mercenary.
Me neither. But I think Dia would look great dressed up as a scholar.
Ugh, forget about it. I wouldn't last 10 seconds in there.
Dum dum dum.
Al-Haytham probably just liked the way I worked and knew I'm good in a fight. So he suggested I find some work in the Akademie.
But you know, if you take him up on the offer, Sino might actually agree and let you become a Matra. Because you're super amazing.
The Matra have all the talent they need as long as they have Sino. I prefer to be free to live however I choose. In fact, I chose this job from the very start because I knew it'd be right up my alley.
Even if being a mercenary means facing all kinds of danger.
A lion has to return to the wild sooner or later. If anything, being your bodyguard has been unfamiliar territory for me.
I don't want to see you go, but I'll respect your decision.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Come on, no need for the sad face. It's not like we'll never meet again.
Die Freiheit liegt in der Natur von der, nicht wahr?
Once the whole Dendro Archon thing is settled, everything in Sumeru will take a turn for the better. That makes me happy too. But a peaceful society will probably mean less demand for mercenaries like me. Before long, we'll be a dying breed. So I'd better get to work while I still can.
Huh? But wait a second. You make it sound like you're leaving now.
Well, no, not yet at least. I promised my lady I'd stick around until next week.
So, have you been in Port Ormos this entire time? We were wondering if you had received a letter from Nilu.
Oh, did Nilu write to us?
She heard that you were seen in Port Ormos, so she sent the letter here.
Huh. It was probably sent to the inn that we're staying at. My lady has been very energetic lately and keeps taking me on hikes, staying out even into the night. By the time we get back, the receptionist is usually off napping on the job.
Right, and we tend to leave quite early in the morning, so the old man on duty is also usually dozing off.
Dafür müsste ich erstmal quasi Partnerschaft, also Affiliate auf Twitch aktivieren.
So what it really sounds like is that the person on duty is always asleep.
I bet the letter's at the reception desk. I'll go check later.
Meine Alarmglocken klingeln gerade.
No wonder there wasn't a reply. You never received the letter. Good thing Nilu asked us to come and check on that.
Sorry to make you two come all the way out here.
It must be something important for Nilu to specifically write to us like that.
Yes, she said they were preparing a victory feast in the Grand Bazaar, and will also be celebrating Sino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra. She was hoping you could come.
Great! I'll be sure to attend.
Count me in too. But is there some sort of dress code or anything for the feast? Can I just show up looking like this?
Oh la la.
Since it's being organized by Nilu, I don't think she'll be too picky about that. If anything.
All right, then this is how I'll show up.
The feast will be held in 2 days, so don't forget.
Sure.
Thank you so much for letting us know. We'll see you there.
Oh, by the way, do you happen to know where Sino and Raman are?
The General Mahamatra always comes and goes without a trace. Normally no one knows his whereabouts.
Oh.
But last time we met, he mentioned that he had something to do in our village. You can try your luck there. As for Raman, your guess is as good as mine. I only remember he said that he had something to discuss with Sino. You can ask Sino when you meet him.
Vielen Dank dir.
Don't mention it. You'd better get going.
All right, on to our next stop.
Kann man noch mit denen reden?
After recovering from Elazar, everything seems so different to me. When I look at the scenery I visited before, it has a completely different feeling.
Yeah. You need to be stronger than an ox to take life by the horns.
I think I've heard you say something like that before. But today, I finally understand what you mean.
Is there any place you'd like to go? I can accompany you. I've got...
What if I tell you that I want to go to the desert?
Fine by me. If we go to the desert, I can introduce you to my friends there. But we should prepare and get everything we need before setting off.
Dann bis gleich.
Let's go! I'll go pack my luggage now. After we're done with the feast in 2 days, we can go have fun in the desert.
You can count me in.
Interesting. Wie mit Ich will nicht mit Wieso Susan? Hallo? Wieso wird mir jetzt eine random Quest vorgeschlagen? Hallo? Genshin, geht's dir noch gut? Schnief. Warum sollte ich dies? Das ist mein Story-Account. Ich habe ihn extra angefangen, um die Story mitzubekommen. Was wäre der Sinn an einem Story-Account, wenn ich die Texte der Story skippen würde? Okay, wer ist dafür, dass ich die Texte und die Story skippe? Wer ist dafür, dass ich sie spielen lasse? Also, plus für skippen, minus für durchschauen. Die meisten sagen minus. Muffin plus. Okay, Muffin, du kennst die alte Regel. Wie, ein Plus und jedes weitere Plus ist wie eine Umkehrung. Das heißt, du hast ein Plus gemacht und 5 Minusse. Das heißt, du bist auch dafür, dass wir weiterlesen. Nicht spammen, danke. Oh, da haben wir ja den General
It's been a
Mahamatra.
while since we last visited Aru Village. Ah, there's Sino.
Und jetzt sind 6 Plus bei dir. Lange nicht gesehen.
What brings you here?
We recovered well, and Tanari agreed to let us leave, so now we're out and about again.
It seems Gandharvaville's medical treatment is still as good as ever.
And Tanari is recovering well, too.
That's good to hear.
Danke, dass du uns zu ihm gebracht hast.
Yeah, you're the one who brought us to him when we lost consciousness, right? Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Tainari has excellent medical skills, and Kale is quite attentive. It was the best place for you.
But why are you just standing here like a dead tree?
I'm meeting some people.
Oh, you mean Candace?
I've already talked with Candace and the village chief. They're still at the usual place. You can go there if you'd like to see them. But you know one of the people I'm meeting as well.
Okay.
Oh, By King Deshret's blessing, my friend suddenly appears in the desert. Don't tell me you've run into trouble and need us to help now.
Raman! And... huh? Sataria?
Oh, you know me?
Oh, well, you're pretty famous in the Academia.
Don't worry, these are our friends. No need to be so guarded.
I see.
Wie läuft es in letzter Zeit?
I'm doing well. Many good things have happened recently.
Same here. Really, I feel that my whole life has started to shine after suddenly finding a new direction.
Oh, tell us everything.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Alright, well, I suppose I should start by saying... I've decided to leave the Academia.
What?
Du willst keine Gelehrte mehr sein?
It's not that I've given up on being a scholar. Instead, you could say I've found a new identity.
Weil sie höchstwahrscheinlich unentschlossen sind.
I will no longer pursue research like a typical scholar, but I have not completely given up on my relationship to knowledge either.
I can see what you're saying now.
What do you mean?
I plan to leave the Academia and return to teach here in the desert.
Wow, so you want to become a teacher?
Danke.
Sataria will return to support education here and teach people from the desert. She can't teach everyone on her own, but there are many of us Eremites all over Sumeru. She came to discuss a collaboration with me and hoped that I could bring her ideas to the Eremites.
Yes, it's my hope that the Eremites can help me select a group of smart people with the best aptitude for teaching. I'll teach them, and after they've finished learning from me, they can go educate more people.
Oh, ich liebe dieses Lied. Das Lied meinte ich das letzte Mal, als ich mit euch gesprochen habe. Ach, so schön.
That is the true meaning of education and the spreading of knowledge.
The people of King Deshret suffer from sandstorms, exile, and ignorance. Miss Sataria is more than welcome to come teach here. Her arrival is like a star shining in the desert night. The stars have always guided caravans, thieves, soldiers, and travelers who get lost in the night. They lead those in the dark out of trouble and back to safety.
Hi, Caddy. Genau, ich bin 53.
Oh, please. Where's all of this coming from? I'm starting to feel a little embarrassed.
You deserve these compliments. Mercenaries are accustomed to danger and don't fear death, which is why we recognize extraordinary actions that common people would easily overlook.
Sataria's idea will bring much good to many people.
At first, I feared it was destined to fail. Everyone knows that the Academia doesn't allow scholars to teach in the desert without permission. As you know, all knowledge is under their surveillance and control, and very few desert dwellers are as lucky as me. But what I heard at that time has been haunting my heart, as if there were lightning bolts constantly bombarding my soul.
Willkommen zurück.
Sataria, you tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become. Sataria, why haven't you gone home? Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
Ups.
Miss.
These words sparked something in me, and I knew that I had to bring something back to my people after going home. I gathered up the courage to approach the Grand Sage, only to find that he was no longer at the Academia. Lord Sino told me that Acer didn't belong there anymore.
Acer has received much-needed punishment. Though, if you ask me, it may have been too light.
Oh ja.
You probably...
Lord Sino helped me obtain permission to leave the Academia for the desert, and accompanied me here to discuss collaboration with members of the Eremites.
Noch nichts.
My plan was able to go smoothly thanks to him and Raman.
You're all doing so much for the desert.
Aside from that, I also have some other business to discuss with Sino.
Lesser Lord Kusanali has allocated many resources to support and develop the desert. I've done some business for her, and part of it required the assistance of the Eremites. I applied for a few batches of educational materials from the Academia, and sent them to several groups in the desert, as instructed by Lesser Lord Kusanali.
That's exactly what the people here need. Physical books and other related items. If it weren't for Sino and Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'm afraid we'd never be able to get our hands on them.
Apart from this, the Academia is also recruiting scholars that are willing to teach in the desert. I'll let you and Sataria know as soon as I have any more news. We must be persistent about this, and maintain these resources to ensure long-term effectiveness.
Oha.
This is the first time in hundreds of years we've had a glimmer of hope. I think this may be the turning point for the desert. Remember these words. Here lies our faithful priest, Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration. I hope people with wisdom like that priest will rise again among the desert dwellers. Then we'll once again see the wisdom and glory that once shook the world.
Enough about us. Are you here to discuss some business too?
No, not at all. We're actually here on behalf of Nilu. Nilu wanted to write to everyone, but she wasn't sure where the letters should be sent, so she asked us to come find everyone personally. A celebration feast will be held in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. She hopes that all of you will be able to attend. At the feast, we'll also be celebrating Sino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra. Although, judging from your appearance, it seems you've already been reinstated. Paimon thought you would only start working for the Academia after the feast.
Celebration?
Hä?
Feast?
Du weißt nichts da Bescheid?
It's the first I've heard of it.
Das ist sehr, sehr suspicious, sehr sus.
Tainari was right. He really didn't know.
This feast is for you, Sino. Sounds to me like you'll have to be there.
It's rare to see that kind of expression from Lord Sino. You must not like feasts very much.
No, not really. But I'll go.
Bitte kommt auch mit, ihr beiden.
Well, I still have a lot to handle here. Besides, I need to look after Miss Sataria in the desert, so I'll have to pass.
Oh.
I'm afraid I won't be able to join you. Although, if you'd be so kind, please give a message to Miss Nilu for me.
Machen
The
wir.
message is, I'm sorry for how I treated you before, but now I understand the beauty of your dance. It's like a light shining in the sky.
Oh.
You and the art you symbolize are not only beautiful, but also lively and powerful, so much so that it was prohibited. Please keep dancing, and someday I'll be able to appreciate your art in person.
Guten Abend, Mika. Und ja, es ist die Archon-Quest.
Okay, we've got all that down.
Wir werden es auf jeden Fall Nilu
Our
weiterleiten.
job here is complete as well. Oh, Sino, remember, party's in 2 days. Make sure you're there.
Got it.
Irgendwie sehr seltsam. Sehr, sehr seltsam.
Anyway, our preparation has been going smoothly these days. Can such good things really be happening in the desert?
Yes, even if you can't bring yourself to believe it, you should at least believe in those of us who are working hard to make it a reality.
Indeed. Take it one step at a time. There is still a long journey before you.
What heartwarming words.
Gut. Warte bis zum Beginn des Banketts. Übernächsten Tag. Hallo? Na gut, schauen wir mal den Paar zu, während ich mal kurz Wasser wegbringe. Ich bin gleich wieder da. Ich muss mal nur kurz Wasser wegbringen. Bam, 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 bam und bam.
If you're not sure what to do next, how about I take you on a walk?
Wieder da. Habt ihr mich vermisst? Wo bin ich? Hier bin ich. Hi. Und weiter geht's. Ich find's irgendwie witzig. Heute Morgen nur ein bisschen so zum Spaß gedaddelt. Ein paar Charaktere gelevelt. Unsere DPS-Barbara hochgezüchtet. 70 Leute schauen zu und jetzt Story, interessante Story, wunderschöne Atmosphäre. Ein bisschen weniger. Mir geht's ganz gut und selbst. Irgendwas sagt mir, Streams sind nicht so storyinteressant. Schnief. Also übernächsten Tag. Mal wie viel Uhr? Außerdem haben wir mehr als genug, um zu ziehen. So viele Wishes, so viele Wishes. Nein, Milena, nicht sterben. Böse. Okay. 19 Uhr. Können wir eine schönere Position wählen? Irgendwas, wo man auch sieht, wie die Sonne umhergeht. Wo wäre das? Hier oben am besten? Die Frage ist, wie herum geht die Sonne? Geht sie von da nach da? Okay, von wo nach wo geht die Sonne? Okay.
Go, Barbara, go!
Ich brauche eine hohe Position. Eine hohe Position. Nee, nicht da, sondern da. Meine hohe Position. Oder, wobei ich habe 2 hohe Positionen. Okay. Wo geht die Sonne auf? Und wo geht sie unter? Das ist jetzt das Experiment. Hier sollte jetzt die Sonne aufgehen. Niemals! Das Steinert. Okay, da hinten geht sie auf. Ich gucke jetzt Richtung Sonnenaufgang. Okay, da hinten geht die Sonne auf. Irgendwie so 5 Grad? 2, 3 Grad? Okay, und wo geht sie jetzt unter? England, James? Nein, für mich. Danke, Machen. Okay, wo ist die Sonne jetzt? Da hinten. Also. Das ist da lang. Interessant. Interessant. Also jetzt schauen wir wieder Richtung Sonne. Okay, das heißt, die Sonne geht so einmal über... Oh. Das heißt, wenn ich an den südlichsten Punkt gehe... An den südlichsten Punkt. Dann sehe ich gar nichts. Weil witzigerweise, hier haben wir jetzt Abend. Nicht hierhin, warte. Jetzt machen wir ein bisschen Wissenschaft. Genshin Wissenschaft. Wir sind jetzt auch mal ein Scholar. Also wir sind hier. Wir haben Nähe des Abends. Wenn wir jetzt einen Tick weit nach rechts gehen. Wobei, ich glaube, hier ist sogar noch ein bisschen... Gut. Wobei, jetzt... Hier müsste es dann Abend sein, oder? Was? Wie, wo, wer, was? Ein Kult? Mal. Excuse me? Okay. Ich bin irritiert. Ich bin maximal irritiert. Warte, also... Von hier nach da. Also in dieser Richtung soll angeblich Celestia sein. Excuse me? Da ist Dragonspine. Okay. Da haben wir den Jadepalast. Wo ist jetzt Celestia? Da ist Sumeru. Wenn es hier nicht so wolkig wäre. Also laut... Hier müsste jetzt Celestia in die Richtung sein. Aber wo ist Celestia? Wieso ist es hier so wolkig? Da ist die Sonne. Okay, gehen wir mal hier hin. Das interessiert mich gerade. Irgendwas stimmt hier nämlich ganz und gar nicht. Wie, guck mal nach oben.
The wind rises.
So. Also oben ist nichts. Normalerweise sind wir am Horizont. Wo ist dieses Celeste, wenn man es mal braucht?
Relax.
Ach, da. Okay. Ich guck drauf. Ja gut, zeigt in die ungefähr gleiche Richtung. Wobei ich erinnere, in der Vergangenheit war es doch in die Richtung, oder nicht? In der Vergangenheit war es hier zwischen den zwei Bergen. Haben Sie sie umpositioniert? Geh mal auf ganz nach oben auf den Palast und in Inozuma und was soll das bringen? Habe ich überhaupt Raidens Ulti aktiv? Ja. Einmal hier. Myra, fühl dich gegrüßt. Myra, fühlst du dich gegrüßt? Das war die falsche Ehe. Danke. So. Jetzt stell dich mal nicht so an. Reicht das hier oder muss ich noch weiter hoch?
The wind rises.
Wie weit muss ich? Hey, Muffin.
Quit following. Behold.
Bin ich hoch genug? Oder soll ich noch weiter hoch?
The wind rises.
Jetzt stell dich mal nicht so an.
Squall and fury.
Also höher geht's ja nicht. Ich würde mal sagen, ich bin hoch genug, oder? Auf welche Spitze? Celestia? Ist das hoch genug? Ja? Nein? Vielleicht? Bin ich hier richtig? Oder bin ich hier nicht richtig? Glaub, passt. Okay. Weil ich habe nur eine Ulti, dann müsste ich sie wieder aufladen und nochmal, wenn ich hier nicht hochdrehe. Geht's noch höher? Theoretisch nicht. Hier bin ich ja gerade zentrummäßig drauf. Na gut. Alle bereit? Ich zünde jetzt die Ulti. Na dann. Leuchtete das da hinten schon immer? Ich bin gerade verwirrt. Hat es da hinten schon immer geleuchtet?
Shine down.
Jetzt nicht mehr. Na gut, wir wollten mit der Quest weitermachen. Gut, wir machen weiter. Wo muss ich überhaupt hin? Ach, ich muss noch ein paar Tage machen. Also, nochmal bitte. Warte, wie weit muss ich denn kommen? Gehen wir erstmal bis 18 Uhr. So, Neon. Du bist zu jung für Bobas. Und danke für das Gold, Edward.
Please.
19 Uhr. Sind wir bereits soweit oder sind wir nicht bereit? Oder müssen wir noch einen Tag weiter?
Today's the big day! Let's go to the Grand Bazaar and see how the celebration's coming along.
Na dann. Einmal Weltreise. Okay, Milene, danke, dass du dabei warst. Gute Nacht. Oder bis später. Na dann. Ach, nicht Muffin. Aber ich glaube, du hast welche. Oder vielleicht auch nicht. Vielleicht kriegst du auch später erst welche. Und denk dran, auch kleine Bobas sind Bobas. Oder wie ein Kollege von mir immer sagt, von A bis C ist alles okay. So ziemlich die ungünstigste Bühne, die man sich vorstellen kann. Stellt euch mal vor, hier stehen die Leute und wollen zuschauen, aber man sieht nichts, weil man von unten guckt. Wer macht bitte so eine Bühne? Das ist natürlich auch in Ordnung. Hust, hust. Du bist zu jung für dieses Gespräch. Hust, hust.
Everybody's already here. Looks like we're the last ones to arrive.
You're here.
Ah, there you are.
In echt? Moment mal. Okay, in welcher Region wohnst du? Jetzt bin ich neugierig. Das, Nick. Guten Abend.
Well, look who finally decided to show up.
You look like you came here immediately after finishing up some work.
But we're not late, are we? It's just that everyone else arrived ahead of time.
I propose that the last one who arrived be put in charge of today's speeches.
Wie gesagt, mir geht's ganz gut. Und selbst? Berlin. Na, unwahrscheinlich. Aber nicht unmöglich. Jeder Mensch hat Bubas. Selbst Männer haben Bubas. Sie sind nur sehr flach.
Nah, there won't be any speeches today.
Oh, really? Well, even better.
Come join us over here. Let's share some great food and drinks. And
Everything looks quite good.
wow! Paimon can't wait! Traveler, just look at all the delicious food here!
Wie ein Traum.
It's so delicious! Oh, this grilled meat tastes amazing!
Wie ein Traum gefällt mir nicht die Aussage.
The food was specially prepared for you by everyone in the Grand Bazaar. And we have everyone that came said that you saved Sumeru and wanted me to thank you all on their behalf.
Ah, feels kinda nice to be seen as a hero. I could get used to this.
Being a bodyguard is also a hero's job. You've always been amazing, Dia.
My lady sure has a way with words. Thanks. I'm glad to hear it.
And I'm happy to meet everyone that participated in the great plan.
Don't mention it.
Come to think of it, we've really done something impressive together. It's unbelievable.
Oh. Moment, was? Du hast bei... Okay.
We owe it to our abilities. And luck.
Really? Why do I remember everybody thinking that luck was against us and feeling like we hardly had a chance of succeeding?
That's how I remember it too.
It's luck that brought us together, and it was luck that let us form a team. Then, it took even more luck for us to formulate a plan and implement it successfully. Moreover, judging from the results, everything worked out well.
Yeah. Everyone gave it their all when it mattered most. It was almost like a performance. We took the stage and put on our best show. Everyone played their part, and thanks to everyone's efforts, the performance was a great success.
Ich habe ein ganz mieses Gefühl bei dieser Aussagen.
So, would you say we're good actors too?
Noch ein neuer Titel, wie schön.
It's such a blessing that Lesser Lord Kusanali was able to return to power at the Academia.
Yes, even after being abandoned and neglected so many times, she's finally returned.
Zurückgeschafft, Misserfolgen.
Uh-huh. Lesser Lord Kusanali once used all her power in a great disaster, which resulted in her losing all her wisdom and memories of the past. This should be something everybody should remember. Huh? You look surprised.
Ganz, ganz
I
große
didn't say
Augen.
anything wrong, did I?
Stimmt ja, ihre ganze Vergangenheit, ihre ganze Erinnerung wurde ausgelöscht. Nur noch Aether kann sich erinnern.
No, everything you said is correct.
That's good.
Something wrong?
Oh, nichts.
Yeah, what's with that face? You knew all of this already.
Ach, nichts. Ich war nur etwas abwesend. Oder sollte ich es Ihnen sagen?
Even if those two giants of the Academia are here, I still have to say it. Those sages really have some nerve. 500 years ago, Lesser Lord Kusanali used all her power for the people of Sumeru. And what did they do in return?
Sieht aus, als hätten sie ihre Erinnerung und Erkenntnisse zur Geschichte von Sumeru verändert, nachdem die höheren Herrin Rokadevate in Vergessenheit geraten ist. Heutzutage glauben sie, dass es immer nur einen Arkon in Sumeru gibt, die niedere Herrin Kusanali. Vielleicht bin ich die einzige Person in Tevat, die sich noch an die höhere Herrin Rokadevate erinnert. Als Zeuge dieser Begebenheit sollte ich ihre Wahl respektieren und ihr Geheimnis hüten.
If you bite the hand that feeds you, don't act surprised when it turns into a knuckle sandwich, right, Sino?
Wäre ich jetzt in der Position des Travelers, ich würde meine 7 Sachen packen, ich würde nach Liyue fahren und, ey, Hallöchen, mir fehlt nur der Name Rex Lapis an. Wie heißt du nochmal? Zhongli. Ey, Zhongli, kann ich mal ein kleines Gespräch mit dir führen? Wer ist der Dendro-Arkon? Zhongli, okay, wer war der Dendro-Arkon vor 501 Jahr? Und dann würde ich mir anschauen, und da ist kein Contract, der zum Beispiel was anderes sagt, dass ihr mir diese Antwort geben müsst, rein zufällig, weil ich weiß da etwas, was ich dann nicht sagen darf, weil ich selber an dem Contract gebunden bin. Sowas in der Art, sowas würde ich machen. Boah, das macht mich gerade fertig, dass ich diese Frage nicht Zhongli stellen kann. Wisst ihr, was ich meine?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but their treatment of Lesser Lord Kusanali calls for a more severe punishment.
You could simply tell Lesser Lord Kusanali that you wish to have Azar and his accomplices severely punished.
I respect our deity's decision and won't interfere in any way.
Was, Morax? Zhongli? Ja, ich bin immer noch 138. Hi.
While we're on this topic, why didn't you accept the Academia's invitation to become the Grand Sage?
Are you trying to say that I'm fit to be a sage?
Not at all. But every person handling the selection process has said that you are the most suitable candidate to lead the Academia right now.
War ich noch nie. Danke dafür. Welcher... Egal.
Why? Because he dethroned Azar from power?
Could you try to put it another way? This is a good thing, yet you're making it sound like I overthrew Azar for my own personal gain.
But seriously, though, I always wondered if you had some personal motives behind it.
I did have my own motive, but it had nothing to do with being a sage. If the rules of our nation were suddenly cast by the wayside, then it wouldn't be long until chaos ensued.
Na
I
dann,
had no intention of letting their dreams disrupt my life.
Glückwunsch.
By that, you mean your life working as the Academia's scribe.
Precisely.
Wait, is that all?
So, that's the only reason why you joined us and came up with all those plans?
It's reason enough.
You've certainly got quite the personality.
You flatter me.
All right then. How about you? You've already resumed work as the General Mahamatra, right?
Krass, ich habe Xiao an seinen Haaren gezogen, deswegen ist er nicht bei euch gekommen. Ist das in Ordnung? Das klingt so falsch, wieso formulierst du es so? Das ist so nach dem Motto, schön, dass du auf meine For You-Page gekommen bist. Das nächste Mal Ziel aufs Gesicht. Kennt ihr dieses TikTok? Ah, schön.
That's right.
Will you be happy with that life?
It's not about being happy. There are
Even so, keep your spirits up and try to be happy, okay? And try to smile more every day, just like I'm doing now.
Okay, niemand scheint diesen Satz verstanden zu haben. Perfekt.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Na dann.
Ah, there you are, traveler. Well, how is it? Are you enjoying the feast today?
Ein
If
tolles...
there's anything you're unhappy with, just let me know.
Ja, lass mich mal
I'll be
aus...
sure to take note of it.
Ja, lass mich in Zukunft bitte aussprechen. Schnief. Ein tolles Bankett. Danke für die Einladung. Schnief.
That's good. It's the first time I've ever invited so many exceptional people to one place. You see, every guest here is quite extraordinary. It's unbelievable that we've got everyone together here. Almost like a fairy tale. Make sure you live it up tonight. I'll be happy as long as you're enjoying yourselves.
Ich möchte dir etwas verraten.
I'm honored to have her think of me this way. If I have a chance in the future, I would really like to invite her to one of my performances.
Hast du gar nicht.
I can't explain why, but I just feel elated right now. Thank you.
I seldom participate in such lively gatherings, but the atmosphere here is quite good.
Und ich dachte, du wirst dich langweilen.
No. This gathering today has a unique meaning. The Grand Bazaar is lively because the people here feel happiness from the bottom of their hearts, unlike the farces at the Academia. That happiness is an emotion that'll be forever alien to those bookworms who have driven themselves insane by studying.
Was soll denn das heißen? Sei lieb, Kitty.
I seem to have taken both keys when I left the house. Oh well.
My lady, the grilled meat over there is delicious. Have you tried it?
Yes, I also tried some fruit just now. Oh, they're very sweet. What an amazing place to relax. No wonder everybody likes to rest at the Grand Bazaar.
You said it. Oh, look who else is here.
Hello! Oh, I'm so happy Nilu invited everybody. Oh, now I have the chance to meet all the heroes.
Gerne, ich freue mich hier zu sein.
Hey, less of that polite chit-chat and more eating and drinking. The feast is about having fun, not stuffy formalities.
Ich stell's mir nur gerade so interessant vor. Das heißt, alle auf dem Grand Bazaar haben uns gerade zugeschaut, wie wir dieses schöne Bankett gerade gehabt haben.
The atmosphere here is good, and everything is delicious.
Glückwunsch. Du bist ein seltener Anblick auf einer Feier.
Yeah. I don't often come to such places, but it feels quite good. I have a lot to handle these days. Otherwise, I could show you around.
Schon gut, wir kommen auch alleine klar.
There's always next time. We're friends after all.
Genau.
This feast is pretty good. I like it.
Irgendwas stimmt hier nicht.
Hey, what's wrong? Your head is starting to droop.
Ach, ich werde etwas müde. Ich schlafe gleich ein.
You can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You'll wake up once you've put something yummy in your tummy.
Wirklich?
Of course. Just wait here for Paimon.
Ich bin plötzlich so müde. Habe ich gestern Nacht nicht gut geschlafen? Oder habe ich einen Bäuchlein zu voll geschlagen? Wer ist da? Das ist schön, diese Sachen, als wäre es ein Film.
It's me.
Ah, Nahida. Hi. Nahida, unser Bewusstsein ist wieder verbunden.
You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. I was thinking about talking with you, and the next thing I knew, I had made a connection with you.
Oh, so süß.
The connection between us is amazing. It's like flora and the fence it grows upon.
Brauchst du Hilfe?
I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand Bazaar. I wanted to have a look for myself, so I snuck in. Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from recent events, so I really haven't had any free time. Although you've already helped me with a lot, there's still one more thing I hope you can help me with.
Was denn?
Please say thank you to everyone for me.
Verstehe. Nahida, am besten sagst du es ihnen selbst.
Oh, is it not convenient for you to do that for me?
Wie süß. Manche Dinge muss man selbst erledigen.
But if I just show up all of a sudden, people will become all quiet and stiff, won't they? What if I end up scaring them and ruining this wonderful feast? That'd be the last thing I want.
Oh. Bitte beruhige dich. Nichts wird passieren.
Let me think about it. Okay.
Hast du dich entschieden?
Yes, I have.
Dann ist gut. Ah, nein. Nein, nein, nein,
You
nein.
said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So...
Nein, böse Nahida, böse. Das habe ich nicht gemeint. Nein.
I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't blame me. The flora also climbs up to the fence to get closer to the sky.
Böse Nahida, böse. Komm einfach selber hier runter. Dann verspreche mir wenigstens, dass du nichts Komisches von mir gibst.
Everyone! Are you awake now? Paimon was just about to bring you the food. It's me. Huh? That voice. Nahida?
Hold up, what's going on?
I didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusanali in the Grand Bazaar. Interesting. Is this also a part of the feast?
No, of course not. Are you Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Hello, Nilu.
Die Stimme, die Stimme.
You know who I am?
Yes, I already know every one of you. Nilu, Alhaitham, Sino, Dia, Paimon, and Dunyarzad.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I took the liberty of occupying the traveler's body so that I could thank all of you in person.
Ich glaube auch.
Thank you so much for rescuing me, even if that meant placing your own safety in peril and taking the risk of becoming enemies with the Academia. the sages, the doctor, the balladeer, and even the entirety of Sumeru. Without you, without any of you, I would have been in a much more difficult situation. Had you not helped me to resolve the crisis, not only I, but Sumeru and even the entirety of Tevat would have suffered great misfortune.
Zum Glück kann sie meine Gedanken nicht lesen, sonst hätten wir ein Problem.
People refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this name. It not only explains your identities, but also bears witness to your relationship with me. Please, allow me to present to you my most sincere gratitude.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much for Sumeru, and I didn't even have a chance to do anything for you.
Dinyarzad, the suffering you endured during your illness is also proof of you being with me and praying for me. Thank you.
Oh.
You don't need to be so ceremonious. It's always been my duty to protect you.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be. We just did what was necessary and set things back on the right path.
Dann willkommen zurück, Elena.
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. You really don't need to be so polite with us.
I'm honored to have been able to take part in this plan. I hoped you liked the dance I dedicated to you.
Was? Wie kann man Nahida nicht mögen? Schnief.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Siehst du, ich hab dir doch gesagt, dass sich alle freuen, dich zu sehen.
Ja.
Oh, die ist so knuffig. Oh. Unter dem Einfluss ihrer Emotionen sprach sie und lachten sie bis die tiefe Nacht hinein. Das Bankett war ein krönender Erfolg. Am nächsten Tag.
Are you awake? Did you rest well?
Es geht.
After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton.
Nichts im Vergleich zu dir.
That just means you still have a lot to learn from Master Paimon, the Sage of Gluttony. All right, since you're awake now, should we go and have a chat with Nahida?
Klar.
She should be in the Academia right about now. If you have any questions, now's your chance to ask.
Hört sich gut an. Die Frage ist, werden wir... Ach, das ist unser Zimmer. Okay, interessant. Muss ich mir merken? Okay, hier ist unser Zuhause. Dass wir ein Zuhause in Sumeru jetzt haben. Ich dachte immer, wir wären in der im Gasthof da unten. Na dann. Wie, du wurdest von Twitch gekickt. Interessant. Naja, du hast noch die freie Auswahl zwischen TikTok und YouTube. Nahidas Blumen? Meinst du... Ach so, Nahidas Blumen gibt es viele... Ich glaube, hier an dem Hang. Und hier irgendwie. Genau. Einfach den Teleporter, dann an den Hang laufen und dann einmal hier quer rüber. Und hier ist noch ein Haufen. Ansonsten, hier gibt es noch ein paar. Ne, hier. An der Stelle gibt es noch ein paar. Und an dem Wasserfall hier. Das ist zumindest immer die Route, die ich laufe, um Nahidas Blumen zu bekommen. Habe ich eigentlich genug Blumen, um sie nochmal aufsteigen zu lassen? Oder müsste ich nochmal... Och, ich bräuchte noch ein paar. Falls ich sie mal auf Level 90 bekommen will. Automatische Tür. Ganz vergessen. Nick, kennst du Traumschiff Surprise? Die Enterprise Enterprise-Verarsche von Buliabek. Mr. Spook, komm herauf. Es ist herrlich. Wieder raus? Was? Ach so, ich soll weiter. Was? Okay. Ach, ich sollte dem bitte rechts halten. Dem Straßenverlauf folgen. Space Taxi to the sky. Feuer Salamander. Mach Beine auseinander. Mach Beine wieder zu und rauf. Raus bist du. Und jetzt Surprise, Nahida ist nicht da. Oder eingesperrt. Oder beides. Oh.
The wind rises. Too slow.
Warte, und das geheime Katakomben-Ding war ja, Instanz war ja hier drin, oder? Ich finde auch dieses Theme von ihr so eine Mischung aus Geborgenheit, aber auch irgendwie so unterschwellig creepy. TNT Mimo, danke für den Follow auf Twitch. Elena, danke für die 16 Rosen.
Hello, Traveler and Paimon. What a fantastic night. I'm still immersed in all the happiness and joy, like a candle floating on water. So are we, and that's why we're here to talk with you. Is there anything you want to know?
Über Akasha.
After recent events, the Akasha can no longer function as it used to. I've given it some thought, and have decided to shut it down permanently. But this is definitely not a bad thing. Even from the beginning, I've been planning to shut it down. The Akasha's centralized administration of knowledge has always restrained people's curiosity and curtailed the number of paths available to them. I don't think this is good for Sumeru.
Gar nicht wahr.
Although people may initially feel a little uncomfortable with the loss of the Akasha, they will soon understand that this life is more suitable for them.
Höchstens Kakashi.
And as for the future of Sumeru, I'm preparing to regain control of the Academia.
Ich nenne ihn Sasuke. Ich nenne ihn Sasuke.
The former sages have received their punishment, but the new sages have yet to be selected. I hope that the new 6 great sages will be more focused on academics. Sumeru needs such leaders more than ever. The other big issue is the people of King Deshret. All the residents of the desert, in fact. They have been mistreated for far too long. I've already taken some measures to address this. It will take some time to rebuild everything, but no matter if it's culture, friendship, or trust, we will rebuild it.
Tu das nicht. Was passiert, nachdem ich an jedem Tag eingeschlafen war?
You mean, what happened after the doctor put you to sleep?
Hat er das göttliche Herz gestohlen?
You guessed correctly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. I was no match for him in that kind of situation. However, in spite of the bad situation, I still managed to make a fair deal with the doctor. I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles.
Ooh.
In fact, the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500 years ago. I used this point as leverage against the doctor. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it's just a bluff, he still fell for it. I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and let such extensive damage to its laws take place. And as for what I exchanged for the Gnosis, the exchange served as both punishment for the doctor as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the God of Wisdom.
Über Scaramucci.
He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any evil.
Okay. Du, die gerade gesagt hat, dass sie okay.
In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. Some things may be very clear from my perspective, but he is still yet to understand them himself.
Nahida war schon immer sehr klein. Und danke für die Rose.
His future will be determined by fate.
Über die nächste Station der Reise.
Is that where you're headed next? Fontaine, the nation of justice? As far as I know, that nation operates in a judicial system. Does their Archon personally judge people? No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, won't preside over individual trials. However, even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. It seems that she just likes to immerse herself in that sort of atmosphere.
Oh, noch ein weiblicher Archon.
As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict. Anyway, let's just say she's got a very unique personality.
Oha. Ich bin sehr gespannt, wie sie drauf sein wird. Das wäre alles.
Are you sure? Isn't there something else you haven't asked about yet?
Ja, da gibt's was, aber ich darf dich das nicht fragen.
Huh? You mean about your sister?
Ach, stimmt, da war ja noch was.
While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your sister.
Aber wir kommen von außerhalb des Sternmeeres. Irminsul hat bestimmt keine Information zu ihr, oder?
Yeah! Isn't Irminsul a repository for all the information and memories of Teyvat? So there shouldn't be anything on him or his sister.
Außer die letzten 500 Jahre, wo sie da ein bisschen herumkam.
This is true in your case. Irminsul indeed does not have any information on you. However, there must be something different about your sister. Because as it turns out, the world has recorded information on her after all.
Nee, hab sie nicht gesehen.
What? There is only one possible explanation. She belongs to this world.
What? Wie kann das sein? Meine Schwester und ich haben uns zusammen die Sternmeere bereist. Wie kann sie aus Teyvat kommen? Es ergibt keinen Sinn. Stimmt etwas mit meinen Erinnerungen nicht oder hat diese Welt etwas mit mir angestellt?
But nothing about this makes any sense. Wasn't this your first trip to Teyvat?
Weißt du sonst noch etwas? Was ist ihr zugestoßen?
According to the records I was able to access, your sibling suddenly appeared in Conria. After the Conria disaster, she began her journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat. But just as her journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul records on her suddenly become fuzzy. What do you mean, fuzzy? Did something happen to her? All I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can know, is deliberately obfuscating her fate. And whoever it is, if they can do that, who knows what else they're capable of.
Könnte das mit dem Abgrund zu tun haben?
But
Das,
even that
Levi.
wouldn't explain how she somehow comes from this world. Something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified your sibling as one of the descenders.
Ankömmling?
What's a descender? Paimon's never heard of it. Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui in return for my gnosis, right?
Ja.
A very important part of the intel was about this world's descenders. External beings, ones that don't belong to this world. Traveler, you are Tevat's fourth descender.
Der vierte. Was? Moment mal, von mir gab es nur 3 andere und meine Schwester gehört da nicht dazu? Excuse me?
Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other descenders before the Traveler, and his sister isn't even one of them? That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first descender was likely what we now call the Heavenly Principles.
Danke für die 4 Rosen. Fürs Gift.
As for the other descenders, I still need to verify their existence. It could take me some time. Paimon's head's about to burst from all this crazy new information. And yet, even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still have a lot of unanswered questions. I must say, I truly regret that I can't help you more as the God of Wisdom. There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to go through each one of them.
Ich auch. Ich brauche Zeit, um nachzudenken.
And soon, you'll also begin your journey anew and depart from Sumeru. I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that can't be observed or recorded by this world.
Warte mal, wir können... Was? Oh, ist... Interessant.
If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate fate. Paimon's sure glad we got to meet you, Nahida. The pleasure is all mine. I can't thank you enough. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever miss me, just close your eyes, and maybe I'll appear in your dreams.
Oh. Fortsetzung folgt. Der weiße Ast. Was ist denn das? Der weiße Ast? What? Was ist der weiße Ast? Ein Verschaust aus dem Zentrum der Welt. Da war einst ein riesiger Baum. Das ist, dass ich... Wurde bleibt ihre Verbindung nicht unterbrochen. Da wird dieser Ast niemals verdorren. Solange dieser riesige weiße Baum, der das Zentrum der Welt symbolisiert, nicht stirbt. Bäume symbolisieren das Leben und bla 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 bla. Na dann. Also, was ich jetzt schon die ganze Zeit mal machen wollte. Nee, komm, hoch mit dir. Stell dich nicht so an. Jetzt stell dich nicht so an. Ach, ich komme gar nicht höher. Hey, das verarsche. Hallo? Ich lasse mich nicht verarschen. Ich lasse mich bestimmt nicht verarschen. Wo bist du? Hier, wo ist mein Sheet?
Let's finish this quickly.
Wie, ich kann meine Figur nicht wechseln? Hallo, ich will meine Figur wechseln. Danke. So.
Don't blink.
Das klappt irgendwie nicht. Komm. Komm. Tu was. Naja, klappt wohl nicht. Und danke Pustan. Danke für die Lucky Picks. Moment mal. Barbara? Nee, Banket. Danke. Niemals. Wenn ich in Minecraft auf den Dach des Nethers komme, dann komme ich auch hier aufs Dach. Ich werde euch aufs Dach steigen, sprichwörtlich. Gut. Was kommt als nächstes eigentlich? Aufträge. Hier, das meine ich. Das habe ich gemeint. Falls ihr eine Mission nicht weitermachen könnt, gibt es hier ein durchgestrichenes Zeichen. Dann könnt ihr hier auf die Quest drücken, dann auf die Quest, hier das Fragezeichen, und er sagt euch, welche Quest ihr abschließen müsst. Acer Palmatum. Acer Palmatum? Diese Quest ist gesponsert von Acer. Holen Sie sich auch Ihr Notebook von Acer. Acer, das hört sich an wie ein Legendenauftrag. Oder? Was? Excuse me, ich muss jetzt die Kazuha-Mission machen? Are you joking? Ernsthaft? Ich muss jetzt die... Ernsthaft? Привет. Ich habe jetzt nicht erwartet, dass ich jetzt Kazuhas Legendenauftrag machen muss, wenn ich ehrlich bin. Ich bin irritiert. Na gut, scheinbar machen wir jetzt den Legendenauftrag von Kazuha. Okay. Okay. Das ist doch diese hier, oder? Genau. Scheinbar muss ich jetzt raus. Ich will mich nicht so sperren, aber scheinbar machen wir jetzt Kazuhas Auftrag. Wenn ich das gewusst hätte, hätte ich das in die Videobeschreibung geschrieben. Wobei, das mache ich jetzt noch schnell. Wird zwar nichts bringen, aber egal. Legendenauftrag Acer. Acer Pamentolium. Hier Kampf mit dem Wanderer. Part 1. Kazuhas. Doppelpunkt Kazuhas Legendenauftrag. Speichern. Nimm das, Google. Nimm das, YouTube. Na dann, machen wir mal jetzt seinen Legendenauftrag. Habe ich den überhaupt schon mal gemacht? Ich bin mir unsicher. Danke. Okay, Little Kitty, danke, dass du dabei warst. Geht nach. Ansonsten, ich spiele mit dem Gedanken, jetzt regelmäßig von 10 bis 12 Uhr morgens, also vormittags, zu streamen. Ist das gut oder ist es schlecht?
It's been a while since we first set foot on Inazuma. So many things have happened since then.
Nein, ich habe Schule. Haha. Die Zeit vergeht wie im Fluge. Es gibt viele Dinge, die wir frisch in die Erinnerung sind.
Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today?
Was meinst du mit keine Videos? Warte mal.
Huh? What's up?
Vorsicht, jemand kommt. Danger?
What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right,
Au.
let's convince him to calm down a little.
Hat er mir überhaupt Schaden gemacht? Kollege, ich bin hier drüben. Der macht er überhaupt Schaden? Du bist so der
I see everything.
Squall and Fury.
Hier, ich bin hier oben. Ich bin hier oben. Hallo. Ich bin hier oben. Ach, ich glaube, ich habe genug gespielt, oder?
The Temple of Wisdom.
That's gonna hurt in the morning.
Kollege, ich brauche dich mal kurz hier. Dann noch den hier. Dann machen wir den hier und dann machen wir den hier.
That's far enough.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all?
Okay.
Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Interessantes Schwert hat er.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision.
Naja, es ist ziemlich schwierig, ein Video zu machen. Für die ganzen Omegle-Videos habe ich auch pro Video, die 10 Minuten dauern, gut 8 bis 16 Stunden gebraucht für den Schnitt und für die Bearbeitung. Warum suchst du nach ihm?
That's none of your business.
Na, dann wissen wir auch nicht, wo er ist.
Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
Netter Kerl.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha.
Da hast du recht. Du bist ausnahmsweise mal schlau. Nee, komm. Palmatum ist so nett.
Right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him.
Ja, aber...
Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back.
Ich habe ein bisschen das Gefühl,
What kind of hunch?
vielleicht hat er eine besondere Verbindung zu
A
Kazuha.
special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other?
Er ist zwar nur ein wahres Gefühl, aber seine Bewegungen und Fähigkeiten ähneln Kazuhas ein wenig.
Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything.
Meinst du?
Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger.
Was ist denn das da hinten?
Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there.
Ein fremder Weg ohne Freunde. Ach so, wieder so ein Ding. Oh.
Get your down to business.
There is no escape.
Let's leave her alone.
The wind rises.
Wie, hier brennt alles, aber das Feuer ist nicht an. Ist ja klar. Abwärts. lass mich runter, Kollege. Oh, da haben wir Madame noch. Ja, lass mich hoch, du Spielchen. Danke für Pusten, danke für die 5 Gold Awards. Ah. Ah. Wie habe ich denn das letzte Mal übersehen? Problem gelöst. Nice. Na. Es gibt keinen. Du siehst keinen Legendenauftrag. Und danke für die 8 Rosen. So, da bringen. 25. Denk dran, primär spendest du nicht mir, primär spendest du TikTok. Ich krieg irgendwie nur 30% von dem, was du gibst. Also für jeden Euro, den du mir gibst, krieg ich 30 Cent. TikTok ist so großzügig und gibt mir 30%. Wenn nicht sogar ein bisschen weniger, wenn man die Bankgebühren abzieht. Schnief. Oh, stimmt auch wieder. Und auf YouTube kriege ich zurzeit noch 50% und... Nee, zurzeit... Bisschen mehr als 30%. Na egal. Aber ich hoffe, dass ich quasi dann nächsten Monat 50% bekomme bei YouTube.
Hello. Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all.
Auch?
Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha.
Nee, eine Rose ist viel weniger als 1 Cent. Eine Rose ist irgendwie 0,05 Cent oder sowas.
If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Gute Nacht, Nick.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi.
Oha.
Is
Da
it
waren wir
really
dabei.
as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be?
Das ist genauso bedeutend wie der Kampf von Baidu gegen Haishun.
Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him.
Ein Fennec, Fox. Was soll das heißen? Hallo? Excuse me?
I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable.
Auch das Bakufu will Freundschaft zeigen. Schließlich hat es sich die Einstellung von Shogun Raiden geändert.
Thank you. Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Too slow. too slow.
Einmal porten, bitte.
Quit following me. Behold!
Also ich habe nicht erwartet, dass ich jetzt die Kazuha-Quest machen muss. Oh, da haben wir ihn ja.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed?
Ein wenig. Ich kann mich nicht mehr genau daran erinnern.
In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
Hört sich zu gut an,
I have
gut
grown
zu sein.
accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaidahara Kazuha in town.
That's Muckface.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaidahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me,
this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Du informierst Kazuha über den Angriff in der
Why would
Wildnis.
such a dangerous individual be looking for me?
Hast du Geschwister? Hast du Schulkameraden?
No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaidahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms.
Oha.
Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back! This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency
Wer
knows
biegt
the
sich?
most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Die beefen sich ja wirklich. Leute, bleibt anständig oder ich beende diese Diskussion. Hört auf, euch in meinem Stream zu streiten. Oder generell zu streiten. Hilfe. Also, was ist los? Bevor ich euch beide mute. Ja. Schmief. Dauernd dieser Terz.
The wind rises.
Okay, jetzt reicht's. Ihr beide hört jetzt auf und ihr werdet mir jetzt auf Deutsch erklären, was los ist, ansonsten seid ihr beide stumm. Einmal mit Erwachsenen.
Relax.
Aber sowas von Kindergarten. Soll ich jetzt wirklich dieses Fass aufmachen? Oder soll ich es nicht? Soll ich lassen? Soll ich es lassen? Soll ich es nicht lassen? Also wenn jemand zu mir sagen würde, ich würde gay sein, würde ich sagen, und? Ja, nein, vielleicht geht mir am Arsch vorbei. Lass mich in Ruhe. Punkt 1, es ist nicht schlimm, gay zu sein. Punkt 2, falls mich jemand gay nennt, ist mir egal.
I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem.
Jedes Mädel, in das ich interessiert bin, wird schon schnell merken, dass ich nicht gay bin. Hust, hust. Ne, ich bin maximal bi. Hust, hust. Na dann, weiter geht's. Also, was haben wir hier?
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest. Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information.
Hustan, Dank für die 3 Rosen.
Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait, even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now.
Kann ich das als Anerkennung werten?
I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
Und wieso wechselt ihr dauernd ins Englische? Ist ja nicht so, dass ich Englisch kann.
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma? Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Betrachte es als einen Gefallen. Lass uns beide Vorfälle untersuchen.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Dann Dank für die Rose.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
Eine Werbetafel. Interessiert mich nicht.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha, what brings you here today?
Lass mal kurz das überprüfen. Interesting. Und weiter geht's.
You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the 2 clans.
Nee, hab noch kein Xiao, Hilfe.
After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects.
Raiden Gokaden? Was?
Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen.
Willkommen zurück.
Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other.
Danke für 2 Rosen.
As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out. Until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan.
Teddy, danke für den Traveler.
But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. But I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse. And neither of them came back.
Ein Brand?
Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Nice.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up.
Milena, danke fürs Notice Me.
He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Notice Me, senpai.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Huh. Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason.
Dank für die Rose, Sie.
But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Wir brauchen noch Informationen von Nagato.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Auf zu den Nagatos. Ich frage mich, ob einer dieser Nagatos einen Renegaden hat.
Fury. Quit following me.
Oh, da hat jemand Kopfschmerzen. Hier, guckt euch mal diese kleinen, süßen, zierlichen Füße an. Seht ihr diese kleinen, zierlichen Füße? Und jetzt stellt euch mal vor, was für ein Behemoth diese Dinger hier anzieht. Diese Füße, dieses Ding, die Dinger hier, diese Füße, diese Dinger hier. Strange.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now.
Also ich spiele gerade und ich streame gerade. Man könnte sagen, ich arbeite im Moment, wenn man so will. Aber ich spiele eigentlich.
My husband has gone missing and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ich achte weniger auf die Füße als auf diese riesigen Schuhe, die daneben diesen Füßen stehen.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things.
Mika, nicht auf die Füße, weg von den königlichen Füßen.
He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family?
Du hast nichts falsch gemacht. Es ist wichtig, eigene Wünsche zu kontrollieren.
Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Amin Omeyuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
No.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument.
Ernst, du weißt nicht, was Bobas heißt?
This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery.
Zu spät.
Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paima was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and,
Ja.
Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Es kam wohl zu einer Auseinandersetzung beim Handel. Der Brand sollte dazu dienen, die Wahrheit zu verbergen. Es fehlt noch das notwendige Information.
Right. I very much agree with you. It seems highly likely that we're missing a piece of the puzzle. Working off what we know so far, there are too many things that don't add up. The chances are that there are still some clues left for us to discover. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there?
Und das mit den Angreifern klingt auch unlogisch.
Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Könntet ihr aufhören, auf verschiedenen Sprachen zu schreiben? Langsam geht's mir auf die Nerven.
Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence.
Ich überroll dich gleich. Was soll das eigentlich für eine Nachricht sein, Lord Stein, die du geschrieben hast?
Relax. Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Namen Conan. Da ist ja verlässlich.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
Nee, heute kein Devourer mehr.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami.
Tatarigami? Ich hätte nie gedacht, dass Tatarigami hier auftauchen.
Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
Huh. So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time.
Fällt das andere nicht auf?
From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
Jein, das ist die Kazuhas Legendenauftrag, die müssen wir leider machen, um weiterzukommen.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside.
Es ist gefährlich.
If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
Kaboom.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
Wenigstens bist du nicht verletzt. Ich weiß nicht, ob das gut oder schlecht ist.
That was too scary. Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us.
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them.
Lass uns losgehen. Wir dürfen nicht länger zögern.
Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from.
Wo ist denn eigentlich das hin? Ich muss mal was kurz überprüfen. Wo bist du? Habe ich das nicht offen? Da. Hier. Ach, interessant, ernsthaft? Ist es mittlerweile weg? Sehr seltsam, sehr, sehr seltsam. Sehr, sehr seltsam. Muss ich mir dann später nochmal anschauen. Na gut, sei es drum. Und weiter geht's.
Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you.
Na, ist in Ordnung.
Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Einmal schnüffeln.
Too slow. Quit following me. From this point, the trail appears to split into two.
Dann solltest du den Kontakt zu dieser Freundin abbrechen.
The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here and seems to be dissipating slowly.
Was für eine Challenge. Stelle diese beiden Teile eigentlich Nagato und Amenoma Yuya dar?
Quite possibly. Let's search the area.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Das ist ja langweilig.
Everyone hold hands! Let's light it! Illusion shattered! Off we go!
It's...
Ugh! Look at this red stuff! What is it?
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's take a look.
Ich bin Nagato. Mein Körper wurde von Anemo Yuyan aufgeschlitzt und er hat mir auch noch mein wertvolles Schwert genommen. Ich habe ihn immer verfolgt, aber nie eingeholt. Ich bin zu erschöpft. Ich ruhe mich hier aus meinem Buch strömt Blut heraus. Aus meinem Bauch strömt Blut heraus. Ich glaube, das ist das Ende, aber irgendeine unerklärliche Kraft lässt mich weitergehen. Warum hat er mein Schwert weggenommen? Ich habe ihm doch gesagt, ich würde es an ihn verkaufen. Sogar mein Lagerhaus hat er angezündet. Es tut so weh, es tut so weh, es tut wirklich unglaublich weh. Aber mir ist nicht schwindelig geworden. Ich schreibe diesen Brief, um mich ein wenig davon abzulenken. Sahiko, Yuki, Yui, was soll ich bloß tun? Ich bin ihr unwürdig, es tut mir so leid. Erst jetzt merke ich, wie falsch ich lag. Ich stehe bestimmt unter dämonischen Einflüssen. Bis zuletzt habe ich alle möglichen seltsamen Dinge gesammelt. aber sie brachten mir weder Glück noch Wärme. Das alles ist nicht eines ihrer Worte wert. Ich danke dir, es tut mir leid, dir so viel Kummer gemacht zu haben, Saiko.
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Ame no Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here.
Wir sollten die Tenryu-Verwaltung bitten, später eine gründliche Suche durchzuführen. Wir haben Dringenderes zu tun.
Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some more important truths. If Ame no Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving.
Wie konnte es nur so weit kommen? Er sollte nicht so eine Person sein.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill.
Ach, mach dir keine Gedanken. Wie oft habe ich schon gedacht, Leute mögen mich oder sind gut zu mir, um danach mir in den Rücken zu fallen. Ja, Menschen sind seltsam.
All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected. It seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Wait, you figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant.
Adventure time!
Mondstein, Flieg und Sieg. Ja, lass mich mal runter.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time. Show yourself!
Kaidehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Das Schwert?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, or rather as a means to occupy Ame no Yuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya.
Nacht, Mika. Komm, was Süßes.
He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
Hallo und Dank für die 5 Fingerharts.
So, swords can become conscious and control people?
Und für die 3 Loffies.
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action.
Doch, du musst jetzt schlafen.
After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home.
Hallo und danke für den Hello Traveler und die 33 Rosen.
I seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power. The might of Ishin art.
So Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
Ah je. Fühl dich geknollt, Shirayuki.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Ja, Backe. Machen wir den einfach platt.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Commit it to memory. Make yourself a
Rewrite history!
Let's light it up.
Hier, du wolltest doch gegen den Shogun kämpfen.
Absurd.
We shall rewrite history!
Behold, bow your head.
Me!
Let's light it up.
We shall rewrite history! Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Hallo und danke für das Blue.
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will.
So ist das also. Dann schlage ich dich einfach in Stücke.
The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal!
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kazuhas clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
Oh je.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
Das Risiko ist zu hoch. Er ist ein Dämonenschwert, das Menschen geistig steuern kann.
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me.
Das gefällt mir nicht.
We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Na gut, ich kann dich sowieso nicht aufhalten.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Uh-oh.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected.
Wenn du dich unwohl fühlst, sag mir es mir sofort.
I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
Dort wäre der ideale Ort.
All right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenoma Yuya? What should we do with him?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine. Just be careful.
Bitte auf Deutsch reden, danke. Anstrengend. Na dann. Ja.
Leave everything on this journey to me. Wind Strider! The wind knows me.
Tiring. Now this! Finally, let's get down to business.
One with nature. Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he's instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Interesting.
It's my lucky day.
The wind knows me. Wind Strider!
The fairy.
Into the wind! As one with wind and cloud!
The fairy.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
Was ist los? Ist es dunkler geworden?
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still
That's
trying
fantastic.
to achieve his goal.
Ich bin fantastic.
Cheap tricks.
Wind Strider! Time to go. Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call.
This isn't over. Calm down.
Willkommen zurück.
It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight!
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
Er ist ziemlich abgenutzt. Das wird bald zerbrechen.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy.
Lässt er sich überreden, auch wenn die Wahrheit glasklar ist?
I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from?
Dieses Schwert ist noch nicht mehr. Dieses Schwert ist nicht mehr brauchbar, oder?
Yup. We can help this time.
Langsam mit. Nein, aber ich bin der Typ, der dich gleich blockt. Nervig.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same. Time to go. One with nature.
That won't work.
The wind knows me.
God.
One with nature. Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
You fought way better with your own sword.
Ja, Russisch.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am.
Oh Mann, ist der Typ seltsam. Langsam geht er mir extrem auf die Nerven. Wenn du so weitermachst, auf jeden Fall.
No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
NVIDIA broadcast.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
Okay, Milene, danke, dass du dabei warst. Gute Nacht.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things.
Oh, Banket.
When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth.
Je mehr Schlaf, umso besser. Also ab ins Bett mit dir.
So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Gute Nacht, Sie.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
Ich auch nicht.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
Uh-oh. You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions.
Scheinbar.
You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryo Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Also da ist auf jeden Fall eine Kiste. Wo war noch eine Kiste? Da ist eine Kiste. Hab dich. So wenig. Dann scheint es hier ja nichts zu geben. Na dann. Alina, sprichst du von mir? Hm? Böse, böse, böse.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash.
Das war viel leichter damals.
Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him.
No.
Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin Art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma Art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Was, wer? Hallo?
Time to go.
Ah. Level 90. Der Flächenschaden in Höhe von... Aha. Schade. Das war so klar. Irgendwie das Lieblingsset von Genshin Charakteren, die man testen soll. Altes Hofritual. Wer hätte das gedacht? Boah. Boah, nichts Gutes, nichts Besonderes. Boah. Solide. Und Talente sind auf 8, 11, 8. Okay. Gute Nacht.
The wind knows me. Wind strike. As one with wind and cloud.
Aua. Geht doch.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness, nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedahara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaedahara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I am not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
Na dann.
Squall and Fury.
Quit following me.
Ja, seltsam.
It's Yuya. You have returned.
Auf der anderen Seite ist eine interessante Story.
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity.
Okay. Dann geh endlich schlafen.
But I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bantan Sango Detective Agency tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will live.
Oha.
And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
Komm zurück, Minerva.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
Guess there's nothing we can say to change your mind, huh?
Du entscheidest, das ist dein Urteil.
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
Was, Yuna?
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them.
Das ist immer noch zu riskant. Die Überreste von Göttern sind kein Witz.
I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Danke. Und abgemacht.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation.
Bin auch verwirrt.
And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
Bam, 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 bam. Ich bin auch gerade verwirrt. Extrem verwirrt. Langsam habe ich das Gefühl, dass er ein Bot ist. Die deutschen und russischen Nachrichten passen nicht zueinander. Das ist wie, als würden zwei Personen schreiben. Hier. Da ist TikTok.
Too slow. Behold! Quit following me. The wind rises.
Oben hin.
Too slow.
Naja, hat halt geschrieben, dass er mein Cover von Billie Eilish ziemlich geil fand. Was für ein Cover? WTF? Um was geht's gerade? Wie gesagt, sieht fast so... Überhaupt hier richtig? Wenn man zu viel auf den Chat achtet und nicht sieht, wo man hin muss. Ach, da ist er.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost.
Ist noch eine andere Sprache? Vielleicht Moldawisch, wer weiß.
The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanoma Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
So langsam glaube ich, der hat einfach nur den Google-Übersetzer gefunden und benutzt ihn immer
The
wieder.
Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... Whew, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
Ernsthaft? Und so geht die Quest weiter. Schnief. Nervig. Warum musste ich das jetzt machen? Hallo? Warum musste ich jetzt random eine andere Mission machen? Kann mir das jemand verraten? Was für ein komisches Schwert habe ich gerade bekommen? Hier. Na dann. Ah, na dann. Na gut, dann unterbrechen wir das Ganze hier. Ich mache noch die Dailies. Vielleicht machen wir noch eine Instanz zusammen. Wer weiß. Und dann gehe ich schlafen, wobei so viel habe ich gar nicht mehr. Na dann. Außerdem gehen... Keine Beleidigung hier, kapiert? Wieso müssen Menschen so anstrengend sein?
The wind rises.
Falsche Richtung. Das sieht auch mal interessant aus.
Illusion shattered. Yeah, I'm going in.
location. Let's light it up.
Done.
Off we go.
Das Lucia.
Adventure time.
Ich glaube, ich werde jetzt einfach den Stream beenden, weil mir das langsam zu bunt wird.
Oh, ow. Where did that come from? No one's joined me on an adventure in ages. Come on, let's go. Oh, ow. Where did that come from? Good things come to those who
Seit
don't wait
20 Uhr.
around. That's what they say anyway. Knowing my luck, the opposite is probably true for me.
Na gut, dann mache ich die Dailies jetzt alleine. Dann wünsche ich euch einen guten Abend noch, eine schöne Träume. Man sieht sich. Bye bye.
Assemble!
Na gut. Gut, dann TikTok-Stream wird beendet. Dann gute Nacht zusammen. Träumt was Schönes, bye bye. Stream endet in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye. Gut. Und dann auch noch gute Nacht in den Twitch- und YouTube-Stream. Bye bye. Gute Nacht zusammen. Was ist das für eine Musik, die da unten epischer wird? Unheimlich. Na gut, egal. Dann gute Nacht zusammen. Bye bye.